In Java 8, there was a feature introduced called as Lambdas. So we will try to understand what is the actual use of Lambdas through a story. So here in this story, our client comes and says that I want to organize my inventory of apples. Could you please help me? So the software manager says, sure, we specialize in writing software of all needs. The client says, I want all the green apples out of my inventory. That means he wants to filter. He has an inventory of apples and he wants to filter green apples. So it was very easy for our developer to write that code. So he has given that code to him. LC. There is a method that's whose name is filter green apples, and it is taking an inventory as argument. And what it is doing, if the green color matches with the apple's color, it is adding that to a list and returning it. It was very simple. But then client comes and says, now I have changed my mind and I want to filter red apples. So here our developer says that we will have to discuss this with team, because he has understood that client will be changing this requirement every now and then. So he approaches his team and says, now client wants to filter red apples. So the first solution that team proposes is, let us just copy paste the method and change color from green to red. And here they have just changed one line of code and put red instead of green, and they did not change anything. But now our lead knows that what if he again changes his mind and says that now he wants the green apples. So our developer says we will create copy paste and create two methods, one for red apple and other for green apples. Then our lead thinks that this approach does not seem right. We should create a method which takes color as argument. Yeah. So developer likes the idea and he writes the code. So if you see our new version, here with inventory, we are taking color as input. So this code provides us the flexibility that we can filter any color of apple. So if you want to filter red apples, you can simply pass red in this color. If you want to filter green apples, then you can simply send green as input in color, or blue, black, anything. So now our lead goes to client and says that we have made the request and changes, and now our product can filter any color of apple, and shows a way that this is how you can call those methods for red apples and green apples. And client became very happy. Now next day, client comes back and says, if it would be great if you could help me filter apples by weight as well. So again our lead goes to the team and says that client now changed the requirement and they want to filter based on the weight. So this time our developer takes a step forward and says that this time I will already write a method that takes weight as argument, so that we can cater all the future needs. And here is the code. So if you see the method, we have created a method filter apples by weight that takes inventory as input and the weight. So if that apple's weight is greater than that input weight, then only we will add that to result. And they were thinking that now client will be very happy seeing this code. So let's see what happened next. They went to client and said, your client says your previous solution was great. Now I want apples that are green and have weight more than 200 grams. So if you see here, client has again changed the requirement. Now he wants to filter apples based on color as well as on weight. So our lead says, now again I will have to go and discuss with the team. We see client, he communicates to the team that client has changed their mind, and now they want to filter based on color and weight. So team is like, I will merge all the methods and create a more useful method. So this is the solution that they proposed. Here you will see inventory is coming as input as usual. Then they are taking weight as input, color as input, and then there is one flag. Okay. And if you see the code, it says if flag is true and color is equal to color, then we will add this to result. Or if this is not a flag is not true, and if its weight is greater than weight, then I will add it to this list. And this send the solution. But if you see, lead is not happy with this code because calling it is ugly, and if you see the previous slide and see the code, that looks very ugly and very hard to understand. Now company has run into an error, a problem they will have to think through. They cannot simply copy paste their code and provide solutions to the client. So now our lead is worried. He is thinking that my team is working really hard. Okay, but day by day the code is getting dirtier. What will happen when client wants filtering based on more and more attributes? So if you see our example, currently client just want to filter on color and weight. What if there are new attributes added to our apple and client wants to use them as well? And now our lead is thinking that since I am the lead, I will have to think of a better solution. So let's see if he can come up with a better solution. He got an idea. He says, I will create an interface which will have method that returns a boolean. So he has created one interface called as apple predicate, and it has a method that returns boolean and tests some condition on apple. Now he's saying that when we want to check for weight, I will create a class apple heavyweight predicate, and that will implement our apple predicate, and this will override test method for weight. So let's see how we can do it. So if you see, there is one class apple heavyweight predicate. It implements predicate, and it is overriding test method in a way that it is just checking the weight. If that weight is greater than 200, it will return true, and we will add that to our result list. Now he goes on to further explain his solution, which is now for filtering based on colors, he has created apple green color predicate that again implements apple predicate, and this will override test method for green color. So if you see here, we are checking green color. Now our lead is going and sharing this with this solution with the team. Now our filter apple method will look like this. So if you see, we will take inventory and then apple predicate, and based on the test condition, if it is true, it will return the result. Add it to the result and return it. So lead goes to the developer and says, I have created a new design for code. Now to tackle any future requirement, we simply have to add new predicate. Developer says, that's a great idea, but how many classes will we create? As you can see, even to change weight from 200 to 201, we will have to make another class. Yeah. So here this is the problem. If we our classes are tied with the logic that it only checks for 200 weight and green color. And if we want to have 201 or say red color check, then we will have to create more implementation classes of our apple predicate. So here our lead proposes another solution that we will use anonymous classes to pass predicate at the runtime like this. So if you see here, we are creating an anonymous class, new apple predicate, and we are overriding this test method. So if we want to check for 201, we can simply write 201 instead of 200. But now developer is saying that this code is highly unreadable, and that is where the problem is. So what our lead is saying, can you propose a better solution? So our developer proposes that with Java 8 we can rewrite this code in much simpler way. Let's see. With Java 8, this is Lambda, apple, and then we are checking it for weight. So we don't need to create an anonymous class. Okay. So now our lead is happy. This solution looks great. Let us share the new version with the client. So they went to the client and says that we have come up with a great solution by using Java 8's Lambdas. New code is more powerful and futuristic. The client is very happy. Says, well done. I am really impressed with the new product. I hope this helps me grow my business. And the client comes back with the feedback that your new product has helped us grow my business many folds. And there is one issue where it only supports apples now. And we have started selling bananas, oranges, and many more fruits. And our lead is now again in a confusion that we did not think of this change. Let me come up with a solution for this as well. So he comes to the developer and says the solution did really well for the client. Now he wants us to support all the fruits that he sells. And developer says we can make our predicate generic. This supports all kind of objects. So if you see, instead of just supporting Apple, we are now creating a generic interface that will support any kind of objects. So this is the end of the video, and this is the practical example where we should be using lambdas. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.